Thank you. Switching topics.
Sure.
Okay. The Palestinian issue. There was a report today in the Washington Times about how Palestinian children are haunted by the nightly raids by the Israeli occupation army. I wonder if you saw this.
I've
Do you have
seen.
any comment?
I saw the article, Said, and what I would say to that is I would point you back to what President Biden said last summer on his visit to Israel, in that he made quite clear that we continue to support a two-state solution, and the president noted that the two states living side by side remains the best way to ensure the future of equal measures of freedom, prosperity, and democracy for Israelis and Palestinians alike.
Well, this is great, but in the interim, the Palestinian children continue to be targeted and haunted. I mean, since the beginning of the year, 10 Palestinians have been killed. Yeah. In the last 13 days, including one today. 13 and dozens more injured. You know, what can you do besides, talk about the two-state solution and so on? What can you do to provide protection for these Palestinian children that are largely innocent?
Said, we have been very vocal, not just from this briefing room, but in the various other engagements that the Secretary and other senior officials have done from this department about our continued support for a two-state solution and our opposition to policies that endanger its viability. This includes, and we have continued to have a deep support for the equal administration of justice for all of those who live in Israel.
Well, you know, your envoy to the Palestinians, Mr. Hadi Hammer, was just there like a day or two ago. What does he tell the Palestinians and the Israelis in this regard? What is the message? He was meeting with I don't know if he met with any Israelis, but obviously that the Israelis greeted him with accelerated aggression against innocent Palestinians.
Said, whenever we engage with both the Israelis and the Palestinian Authority, we continue to be very clear that we have a continued support for a two-state solution and opposition to policies that are going to endanger its viability. You have seen the Secretary speak to this. You have seen the President speak to this. It's something Ned and I have been quite clear as well.
Bear with me.
Sure.
The Palestinians are warning that Israel extremist policies and your ambiguity toward these extremist policies just put the whole thing in peril. Are you ambiguous towards this government and its conduct thus far, the Israeli government?
I don't believe we've been ambiguous at all, Said. As we've said repeatedly from the beginning, we look forward to working with Israel to advance the interests and values that have long been at the heart of our bilateral relationship. I'll also point you back to what Secretary Blinken said in December, that our engagement and our judgment with the new Israeli government will be rooted in the policies they pursue, not based on personalities. And again, we have been clear, and I have just said now again that we've been very clear about our continued support for a two-state solution and opposition to policies that endanger its viability.
And lastly, I know maybe this is not your area, it doesn't really fall under the auspices of the state department, but Harvard nullified a fellowship for the former head of Human Rights Watch, Mr. Ken Moore, because he criticized Israel. You certainly would have a position if Harvard denied the fellowship for someone because he criticized China, the human rights violations in China and elsewhere. Do you have any comment on this?
Said, I'm just not gonna, I'm not aware of this. I'm just hearing of this now, and obviously Harvard is a private institution, so I just don't have anything to offer there.